the example I gave about the guy.
Yes, that particular incident.
Well, then that should be at least 20 years.
I see. So, Ian, a man comes home, or a woman comes home, and finds their partner in bed with another individual.
Yeah.
Is it not almost inevitable that that discovery will result in anger? Immediate, uncontrollable anger.
Yeah, obviously, but maybe.
Now, how will the introduction of a massive sentence deter anybody from that? Because we have established that they come home, they find the situation, and they go, ah, smash! They don't think, wonder how long I'll get if I smash the brains in with a brick. 3 years. Yeah, it's worth it. Okay, give us your head. It doesn't work like that, does it?
No.
No. So the purpose, or one of the main purposes of punishment is, I'm sure you'll agree, to stop other people committing that crime. Do you think it is likely in the circumstance you've outlined?
No.
No. So what is the point?
Well, I still think that for that sort of a crime, it should be at least 20 years.
Despite the fact that all your logic is against it?
Yeah.
You have that right?
Yeah.
Ta-da! Well done, by the way. I'll do Phil. Are you going to speak, or is this something you've not yet been granted, the ability? It would seem to be something you've not yet been granted. Never mind, we can manage well without you. We shall go to line 1 instead and talk to Peter, hopefully. Hello.
Hello? You say you don't believe in Jesus, don't you? Well, if you look in Roman history, you'll see that Pontius
No, in actual fact, Phil, you've misquoted me considerably. I have never said I do not believe in Jesus. It may well be, I find it immaterial, that a person of that name existed. What I have said, categorically, is I do not believe in God, and therefore cannot believe that Jesus was the Son of God.
Well, have you never heard of these test tube babies that we're doing now? Couldn't God
Phil, I hesitate to point out to you, but to my knowledge, Jesus was... I'm sorry?
Much more of a
Phil, your argument that God did that or God did this is wasted on me. I don't believe God did, because I don't believe God existed. You'll have to be more specific.
Well, how do you know that there was not a Son of God?
Phil, I do not know. We are talking about beliefs, not knowledge. Allow me to put to you the reverse question. How do you know, beyond your pure belief, how do you know that God exists?
Because he does,
Well, yes, because he does. It's hardly an answer, Phil. I could just... when you said to me, Phil, how do I know he doesn't exist, I could have said, because he doesn't.
Well, if there's no God, how were we put here on this earth, then?
I actually don't know the answer to that beyond the physical act of procreation. There is a very strong body of opinion that says we are a slow development from the ape. I'm not sure I fully agree with that, although I'm prepared to make exceptions in certain circumstances and certain individuals. Some of them are not very far away. However, all I can say is I do not believe in God, because I have no substantial evidence to convince me. I suggest to you, Phil, that you do believe in God because of what you see.
Well, what about all these professors and stuff? They say they can't prove that he doesn't exist, and they've got...
Can I suggest to you, Phil,
pictures of him.
Phil, can I suggest to you that it is impossible, totally and utterly impossible, to prove the negative? It cannot be done. You cannot prove that something does not exist. However, no one has yet proved that God does exist. Now, it is not impossible to prove the positive when the positive exists. I'm not suggesting that nobody ever will. In my view, I doubt that they will. But, Phil, nobody has done yet, and we've had many thousands of years to do so, 2,000 Christian years to do so, and have yet succeeded, or have yet to succeed.
Well, how come everything in the Bible said that that it said has come true. Even
Phil,
in the 1940s, it said that children would go against their mothers and fathers.
Phil,
And it
the
said
Bible,
before.
nowhere in the Bible, Phil, does it mention 1940.
No, it says children will turn against their fathers, and that happened in 1940s.
Phil, people have been doing that since
Yeah, but
time
not-
began.
Not the old nation.
Phil, it doesn't mention nations.
And then it says...
Phil, it doesn't mention
nations
nation.
will take
Phil,
over
your
the
knowledge
world.
of the Bible is based on hearsay. You know nothing or
It says
insufficient.
2 nations will take over the world. Well, that'll
Phil,
be England and
Phil,
Israel.
Phil, England and Israel have not taken over the world, you silly man.
No, it says evil will take over the world. And 2
Evil
people
has
will
not
die.
taken over the world.
No, in...
Evil has not.
Armageddon this is, I mean.
Phil, evil has not yet taken over the world.
Well, it says when it does, it will.
Well, when it does, I'll believe it. Till then, I won't. All right.
But
Phil, I suggest you carry on with your faith. Despite the fact it is based on a very tenuous premise, I recommend to you that you carry on with it. But please don't come on here, Bible thumping, when quite honestly you know very little about it.
you know little about it. You say you don't believe in
Phil,
it, so you can't
Phil,
sod off.
I've probably read the Bible more often than you ever will, assuming that you have the ability to do so
What's the
anyway.
use of reading it if you don't believe it?
Phil, I don't make
You go
decisions.
to church,
Phil,
you need-
listen, you dozy sod. I don't make decisions without first of all researching the subject.
Well, what-
I was brought up as a Roman Catholic. It was part of my childhood to read the Bible and to read passages from the Bible. I spent many years considering whether I believed the basis of the Bible, and my decision was, eventually, no. But I'm allowed to say, Phil, that I don't think you have actually studied
well, why
it
at
properly.
Christmas then were you celebrating Christmas?
I actually was celebrating Yuletide, which
Oh,
existed,
Christmas
which
is about
existed.
Jesus and
Phil,
he died
Phil,
and saved
Phil. First of all, you're wrong again,
about
Phil.
his birthday.
Phil, your mouth is very, very agile, but wasted by the connection it has with its brain. Christmas isn't about the death of Jesus.
About the birthday, I
No,
said.
what you said was the birth and death. However, Christmas for you, and many, many other Christians, is about the birth of Christ. For me, it is just a celebration, like New Year's Day, like my birthday, like my holidays. It is just a celebration. It is not a religious festival for me. Indeed, Phil, the festival at this time of year was originally called Yuletide and belonged to the pagans, and the Christian teachers usurped it.
So you're a friggin' scrounging toe rag at Christmas, are you?
If that is how you wish to term it, Phil, I allow you to rot in your incompetent, bumbling stupidity. With you on his side, God hasn't got a chance. Adrian, how do?
How do, fatty?
Drop dead, scouse.
The new Preston Pendle Travel Shop opens today in Friargate, Preston.
Rose Stereo. Allan Beswick.
How do, Kevin?
Hello, Alan? Alan?
Yes, we've done that. What do you want?
I'd like to talk about weather broadcasts on the
You
telly.
mean weather reports?
Yeah, on the telly.
Yes, go on then.
Well, I think that they shouldn't do it because they cause people all this bother. See, because,
Oh, what bother?
well, my dad, it said it was going to frost, and my dad put all plastic sheets on his windscreen and that, and he got up late, and then he went and it was sunny out. This was about 10 o'clock in the morning, and it was dead sunny out, so we had to take all them sheets off, and it took him about quarter of an hour to do that. So he was late for work.
Well, Kevin, perhaps your father ought to have got up a little earlier. Or is he as divvy as you? Hello, Paul.
What grain comes in pints?
I neither know nor care. How do, David?
Hello? Hello
Yes, my cretinous friend, what do you want?
there? I'd like to talk to you about football.
And I'm sure you would.
Yeah. Well, you know it's on the decline, don't you? Well, do you not think rugby league is a better game?
I thought you wanted to talk about football.
Well, I'd rather talk about rugby, but, well, I'd like to talk about football.
Well, Kevin, David, I have absolutely no concern about any of these sports where people kick a bag of wind about and are watched by many.
They pass it about.
They never kick it in rugby. How extraordinary. I always thought they did. They seem to on television.
Well, do you not think it's a better game than football?
I don't really care. I don't have an opinion.
Well, do you not think football's rubbish?
I don't like football.
Yeah, well, rugby's a better game, isn't it?
In your view, apparently, yes, as you keep repeating. I've told you, I don't have an opinion. I don't care. It isn't important.
Right then, Fatty, see ya.
Very good. Must be really difficult when the best insult you can think of is fatty. Hello, Mark.
Hello, Alan, my mother was walking along the pavement.
Mark, you're far too young to be up at this time of night, even during the school holidays. Hello, Raymond.
Ricky the Magic Pixie went to visit Daisy Bumble in her tumble-down cottage.
Yippee. I'm sure they had a lovely time together. Hello, Tarquin.
Hello, Alan. Why is Radio 1 better than your radio station?
I've no idea. Perhaps it's got something to do with the fact that they come second in the ratings round here. Sorry?
You're a pillock, aren't you?
Yes, and Tarquin, I wonder, perhaps you can answer this, why you were bothering to spend money on a phone call to talk to a pillock.
Well, you sure don't you? You're a pillock, don't you? Talking to me.
Tarquin, I'm receiving an awful lot of money for talking to you. An awful lot of money and a free car. What do you do for a living, Tarquin?
Me? I go to college.
You go to college? They'll let anyone in now, won't they? I thought you had to have brains for that. Sorry? Tarquin, I don't understand why someone of your intelligence bothers to ring a person you don't like. Would you like to try and explain it to me?
I just like listening to you, what you call people, that's all.
Yes, you didn't answer the question. Why have you rung somebody that you don't like?
I don't know, I just like listening to your voice, that's all.
You like listening to my voice, despite the fact you think Radio 1 is better?
Yeah.
How extraordinary. You're obviously as thick as pig muck. How do Mike?
Hiya, Alan.
Yes, I am.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I'd just like to talk about, Errol Walker and the hostage siege.
Go on.
Well, I think that, when he come out on the balcony...
Yes.
The shield. Well, I think that the police would have been better shooting him then than letting him come back, because he threw the shield at them.
There would have been a public outcry had they done so. The police in this country are not yet empowered to shoot people. They cannot bring summary execution in that way, and nor should they be able to.
Yeah, but he'd already killed somebody, hadn't he? And
that really isn't relevant. In this country, you are innocent until proved guilty. Technically, and I do appreciate it is a technicality, at that time, that man was guilty of no crime. He was an innocent man at that time.
Yeah, but that girl's life...
There is no yeah but, Mike. That is a fact.
All right, Tom, well, I'd just like to say that I think Tarquin's a pillock too.
Well, I'm sure everybody in the world that's ever heard him does, Mark.
Yeah.
Ta-ra.
Okay, sir.
I'll do Ramon.
Hi, Al. It's a piece of information I want of you, actually. The thing is, Alan, I rang Red Rose on Sunday night. Were you in that day, Sunday night?
You rang Red Rose. What did
I
you
rang
want?
Red Rose. Well, I actually rang up to inquire about you, but there's a very nice gentleman answered the phone. And I was wondering if you could give me his name and address.
No, actually, the gentleman concerned said, Alan, on Sunday night, some half-brained, cretinous woman rang. And for God's sake, don't ever give my address, because I think she smells of vomit. I'll do David. David, are you going to speak? Or are you some kind of robot?
Oh, you can some kind of robot.
I see, you're some kind of robot. They're doing a survey. Hello, Eddie.
Hello, Alan. I'd like to discuss your views on... I know that you are totally non-racist, and that you've made major views.
Would you like to tell me what you've got to say, Eddie?
Yes.
Good.
You seem to be...
Would you like to tell me what you've got to say, Eddie? Not what I've got to say.
Well, I mean, I am non-racist myself.
Fine.
But a point that you made, I mean, I like got on before, he said, hello, fatty, and you said something in the region of beat it, Scouse. Now,
yes.
you seem to have a very low opinion of Liverpool people.
No, I only have a low opinion of those that come on this programme and resort to foul language, who are, in the survey of this programme, in the majority.
Yeah, okay, well, that's fair enough. Well,
good, I'm glad you agree.
In the past, you've had people on from all over Lancashire and Merseyside, and they do ring you, and a high proportion of people who do ring you ring just to insult, and just because the mates are there or they've had a few drinks or...
Yes, I'm fully aware of that, Eddie.
Yeah, okay, well, they ring you. Now, you do not decry them from the particular region that they're from, and yet it always gets back down to Liverpool people.
Well, the problem with Liverpool people, Eddie, is they are particularly easy to identify as a group on this programme because they have accents not dissimilar to your own. Now you sound...
This accent because I'm a Liverpool person.
Yes, indeed. Now you sound like one of the intelligent minority in terms of people that take part in this programme. To be perfectly frank, I don't give a damn about the people of Liverpool per se in terms of audience. They're not worth anything to me. If everybody in Liverpool turned off or on, it wouldn't affect my ratings whatsoever. You listen to this programme because of reasons of your own. But you are not invited to do so. It is not aimed at you. It is not for you.
Well, I listen to the programme because
Feel free.
Yeah, because it intrigues me as to how the programme has been so successful. I mean,
perhaps it's because I say exactly what I think. And if I think somebody is a cretin, then I say so. If they happen to have a Scouse accent at the time, then I make the point that they are, on that occasion, a Scouse cretin. I have even called people Mancunian cretins, too, and on one occasion, a Scottish pervert. So if they have some means of me identifying them, then I'm prepared to use it. However, we come back to the initial question, and that is, why am I against people in Liverpool? The answer is, I am not. I like people in Liverpool. I worked there for some years and had a ball. Unfortunately, it seems to be the dregs of that community that take part in this programme, in the majority.
Do you think that the format of the programme will change? I mean, because
the format will not.
Yeah,
the format will not. The format is here to stay.
Because, I mean, the majority who are listening, I mean, you only have so many hours airplay to play your records. So, I mean, your programme is ideal to get shut at that time, to fill in time when you can't play your
Well, in
records.
actual fact, Eddie, that was not the motivation for this programme, because we at this radio station don't have a major problem with what is known as needle time. The desire and objective of this programme was to get an enormous audience. It has succeeded in doing that, and its job now is to keep it.
So you keep that by allowing the swear words through on the 7-second delay that you could block out.
I don't allow.
Every now and again you allow some to slip through.
I don't allow very many. In fact, I never allow swear words. I sometimes miss them, but I never allow them. If I hear them, they disappear. There have been 2 occasions when, for technical reasons, they've been impossible to edit. That has now been resolved.
Well, I mean, there were swear words tonight. I mean, about, 20 minutes?
It depends on what you define as a swear word. I make my own yardstick. The thing about this programme, Eddie, is that whilst it is an operation, I make the rules fully, completely, and carry the can for it. It has no producer, no technical operator. I run this programme. And when anything goes wrong, I carry the can. I make the decisions as what will and what will not go out. And I stand by those decisions. Whether that costs me my job or not remains to be seen.
Do you enjoy allowing the swear? Do you think that allowing the swear words to get through will improve
Well,
your audience?
we're back to this definition of swearing, aren't we?
Yeah.
There are certain words that I think are occasionally acceptable. There are other words that I think are never acceptable. And that is a purely personal decision.
I see. So that lies entirely on you. So the IBA have no control? Or?
The IBA have ultimate control in that they can say, end of story, sack him. And, well, technically they can't say sack him, but they can say stop him broadcasting.
I see.
And so the control they have is to say enough. And they are free to do so. And I have to take that risk. But I do, on the radio, what I think is right. If other people think it is wrong, then okay, I'm prepared to listen. But at the end of the day, I have to make the decision. It is my programme, at my time of night, doing it my way. And if it works, fine. If it doesn't work, I'm the one that's unemployed.
Could you get a more cheery newsreader on your programme if it's your...
I don't have a choice of newsreaders. The news comes from London. I have no control of the news and no desire to have control of the news. The news is nothing to do with me.
Thank you very much indeed.
It's a pleasure, sir.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hello, Nick.
All right, Al. I'd like to talk about driving tests, if I may.
You may.
I took my driving test, 3 times now and I failed.
Please don't ask me to agree with you. When you say yeah, that is an invitation to confirm what you have already said, and I don't know whether it's true or not, and therefore will not take part in that confirmation. I believe, on your say-so only, that you've taken your driving test 3 times and failed.
Yep. You used to be a driving instructor, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, do you know when you go for your driving test, can they only pass so many in a day?
No.
They're not allowed, no?
They pass those that they think are up to the standard required, and they fail those that are not.
Yeah, and another thing is that they're just allowed to fail it on one thing.
Yes.
They are? Oh, no.
Of course they are. They have done.
Well, no, somebody told me, I got failed last week, only on one thing. And this fella goes, it should be failed on 3.
Well, the fellow is ill-informed, or lying, and you're a fool for believing him.
But why?
Why what?
Am I a fool for believing him? I didn't know, like you were just saying to
Indeed
me,
you didn't know, but you have 3 very good and remarkably, what should we say, rememberable experiences of being failed. Now you were failed on one thing. I suggest to you that the driving examiner is aware of the rules. Don't you think so?
Yeah, quite too.
Quite.
Okay then, thanks a lot.
It's a pleasure. I'll do Jimmy.
I'd like to speak about very fat people.
And you can when you're 16. In the meantime, I suggest you wait till you've got some hairs on your willy and a deeper voice.
Hey, you feeling blue?
Because your car ain't right for you.
Bradshaw's Car Delights.
New and used, they've got it right.
Cars with dealer bill.
Lowest prices, it's a steal.
Bradshaw's have today
400 cars to drive away. So who you gonna call?
Bradshaw.
Yeah.
Present time 4083. There's a car for you at Bradshaw.
Who's the biggest Ford dealer?
Bradshaw.
And where'd you get the best deals?
Bradshaw.
I can't hear you.
Hey, Bradshaw's.
Right. I'll do Joan. Oh, never mind. On line 1, we have somebody called Jill.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, Jill.
I'd like to talk about the royal family, please.
Feel free.
Well, I think that the royal family should be abolished because I think it's a great waste of public funds, and I think the money could be spent on something far more useful.
Name one thing.
Well, it could be given to hospitals for machinery that they need.
How much machinery do you think you could get for the amount of money spent on the civil list?
We could get quite a bit.
Jill, are you aware that on the basis just on straightforward cost and income, the royal family actually makes a profit for Britain?
How does it make a profit then?
It makes a profit in a number of ways. First of all, by using the Queen and other members of the royal family, it actually helps win contracts for export in British expertise, British technology, and indeed British equipment. Many a contract has been signed partly because of a visit by the Queen. It helps public relations. Large international companies spend literally millions of pounds on public relations. And the Queen and the rest of the royal family are an excellent public relations commodity in Britain. They cost very little indeed. So the return from just that is massive. The return in the form of tourism, people coming to visit Britain because they've got a royal family, is massive. The return in straightforward income, for example, Prince Charles, who at the moment has no legal obligation to, pays tax on his income from the Duchy of Cornwall. And that isn't the only way he puts money back into the country, but that's one of them. And all added together, it actually provides Britain with a massive PR exercise that makes money far in excess of the cost. So if you did away with the Queen and the rest of the royal family, you may well find that there would be less money to spend on, for example, hospital equipment.
Yeah, well, you say that a lot of people come just because we've got a Queen like the Americans, but...
For a royal family, not just the Queen, but yes, go on.
Yeah, well, when overseas visitors come, I mean, the Queen's not often here. She's usually going all over the world, doing her diplomatic duties and so on. So, but Britain has got a great heritage and everything that's far more of interest than anything like that. I mean, the coming, but it's not very likely that you will see it.
It may well be, to you, a great heritage that is far more interesting, but the thing about the royal family is its uniqueness. It is the only royal family in the world that is, what should we say, not part of the democratic system, and yet is there in success and thriving. There are many other countries got royal families, such as Spain, as they invented one a few years ago. One wonders why, in a country that was allegedly right-wing, they invented a royal family. You've got the royal family of the Netherlands, that everybody pretends doesn't exist because it's not of any value. Many countries have a massive heritage, but have not that extra special, that piquance of mystery that the royal family offers in terms of tourism in this country.
Well, I don't think it's very special myself.
Well, you don't think it's special because you are part and parcel of the nation that has it. It's rather like the people that live in the Rockies. Majority of the people that live in the Rockies don't think that that's special. It's just a bunch of mountains, really. But you see, we do. We think they're wonderful.
Well, I don't think even if I lived abroad, I'd find it was because it's against my views totally.
Ah, which of your views is it against you?
Well, I just think everybody should be equal, and nobody should be expected to bow to anybody or anything like that. I just think it's disgusting.
Well, fine. I'm actually prepared to agree with you. Unfortunately, and it's a very big unfortunate, in all the other countries, there is a hierarchical structure. For example, in America, where they have no royal family, much to their chagrin, but they have no royal family, there are still the haves and have-nots. There are still people bowing and scraping to others. In France, where they clearly have no royal family, they have a president and a very, very strict social order. In Russia, for heaven's sake, they have a strict social order. In one of the most, what should we say, equality-conscious countries in the world, Australia, they have a strict social order. So I'm sorry, the removal of the royal family wouldn't make us all equal.
Yeah, I understand that, but I just wish that there was a way that we could do it. I know it's not possible, but to stop these structures of society and so on, but I just wish there was a way that it could be done.
Well, Jill, I'm prepared to agree wholeheartedly with you that I too wish there was a way it could be done. I actually think there is a way, and we've yet to find it, but there is a way. However, Jill, you can do it for yourself, in your mind.
Yeah, well, I do.
Because I do too.
Yeah.
So the royal family, I look at the royal family and I don't think, the Queen, marvellous. What I think is, smart as out, there's the royal family. They're as much use to us as British Leyland and all those other things that we can export. Great idea. Okay, it's a commodity. Let's carry on flogging it and getting the brass. Ta-da!
Okay, bye.
Attention! Sensational news! Stop! Colour TVs and videos from only £99. Stop! Auto washers and microwaves only £99. Stop! Freezers and cookers from £99. Stop! Where? At Orion and Planet Winter Sale. Stop! That's Grasmere Road, Blackpool and the Crescent Cleveland's when. Stop! Winter Sale start 9 a.m. Friday the 27th of December. Stop! Hurry, hurry! Limited stock. Message ends.
A far, far better furniture store.
Edmondson's of Blackburn, a far, far better furniture store. For lounge, dining room and bedroom furniture, for famous names in quality carpets, for all home furnishings. Edmondson's offers choice. Edmondson's gives first-class service, and Edmondson's guarantees value for money. All round a far, far better furniture store at Darwin Street, Blackburn.
A far, far better furniture store. Edmondson's.
Fun evening, but if you think you're going to find out, I live at 90 Aybrook Street, and if you think I'm going to tell you my phone number's 7680122, and if you think you're going to drive me home when you've been drinking, shame on you. Luckily, I've been drinking Driver's Gin and Tonic flavours drinks. They're ultra low in alcohol, so I'll drive, shall I?
Drivers from Britvic let you enjoy drinking and driving home. Drivers from Allied Lions, a great British company.
How do, Justin?
Good evening, Alan. I'd just totally like to agree on the call before about Ian Botham. Botham was found with cannabis in his house. That is an offence. He was found guilty, so therefore should be banned from cricket.
This is interesting. What other crimes, I presume you mean all criminal activity, should ban you from representing your country?
Well, not really, but...
Oh, I see, just Ian Botham's.
Drug taking is a serious offence. Well, being in possession...
Just a moment. If it was that serious, why does he still have his liberty?
Look, let's say...
Why does he still have his liberty?
Because the courts and the people think, oh, Ian Botham... Oh,
No. Now, let us be fair, Justin. How many people do you think get custodial sentences for a first offence of possession of small quantities of cannabis?
Well, I don't know anybody who's been caught with it.
Well, allow me to tell you there are thousands caught, and I don't know of one that has ever been given a custodial sentence for being found in possession of a small quantity.
I'm not on about a custodial sentence.
Well, Justin, you see, the problem is, you said it was a serious offence.
It is.
Then why was it dealt with in such a simple, minor way? Why was the penalty so small for this serious offence? Why is the penalty, the penalty in general, so small for this serious offence?
Well, it should be made bigger.
Oh, I see. You want it to become a serious offence. I'm sorry.
No,
I thought you said it was one, Justin. I'm sorry?
It is a serious offence at the moment.
Justin,
but the penalties don't justify the act.
Justin, in your view, in your humble opinion, it is a serious offence. In the opinion of the courts, who have the power devolved under the terms of our democracy, it is not as serious as you would like it to be.
No, can I just put it another way to you, please?
You can put it any way you like. It won't change the facts, but feel free to try.
Thanks. If a teacher was found with cannabis in his house,
yes,
he would be sacked from his job.
Indeed.
Ian Botham was found with cannabis in his house,
yes,
so therefore he should not play for England anymore, as he's setting a very bad example to the young.
'Tis not setting a bad example to the young. Are you for 1 second suggesting, Justin, that people of tender years will now rush out with every opportunity they can get to obtain cannabis merely because Ian Botham was found in possession?
No, but then...
I see. I thought you said it set a bad example.
Right, I'm not saying all, but some might think, oh, Ian Botham takes cannabis, he's a superstar.
But excuse me a moment, Justin. Please, feel free to bend the facts as much as you like, but I will bring you back...
Alan, come off it.
I will bring you back to the facts, and I hesitate to point out to you that you are very, very much bordering on committing a libel, which I will not permit. Ian Botham was not convicted of taking cannabis. Not at all.
I've never said he was.
Excuse me a moment. Less than 1 minute ago, you did.
I said he was found with cannabis in his house.
Excuse me, you actually just said, Justin, a few moments ago, You quoted the thoughts of a young child. Ian Botham takes it.
But
those were your words and they were wrong.
Yeah, but the young people are immature.
I'm sorry.
They might think Ian Botham
Justin, if we're going to discuss immaturity, then I think you would come under that category also.
Well, young people might think Ian Botham...
Justin, how old are you? How old are you?
I'm 17.
17, and you're talking about young people. You are a child, Justin.
I'm not, but...
Well, in your eyes you are not, but allow me to tell you, you are. That is factual.
I'm not. Ian Botham
I
should
see.
be banned
Justin,
for England.
Justin, that is your opinion. You are entitled to it. However, you are still a very young person.
Oh, come on, I know that drug taking's wrong, Alan. Sorry, I won't say drug taking in case you make up things again. But...
Make up things? I've not made anything up.
Yeah, but you said that, I said that... forget that bit.
Fine.
It's complicated. Right.
Far too complicated for one so young.
No, but just get a bit mixed up with words. Now, anyway, you're just trying to get off the point now.
I'm not trying to get off the point. You have made your point perfectly clearly. I think you were wrong, but you have made your point.
Yeah, and there's a good many other people who think I am right. If you
I'm sure there are. Fortunately for us, they are not England selectors.
But why don't... Well, both never won the Ashes anyway. Why don't you...
Well, no one suggested he did. I don't understand the relevance.
I'll make you a challenge then.
I don't accept challenges. Allow me to stop you before you proceed. Justin, one of the things I never do, under any circumstances, is accept challenges.
Okay, you
for
don't
two
have to
reasons.
accept it.
One, it is not a case of accepting it or even hearing it, Justin. I don't want to hear about your challenge. That is an immature way of presenting your case. No, you cannot. You have lost all credibility with me, Justin. I do not accept challenges. Children should stay in bed at this time. Hello, John.
Hello, Alan. Somebody rang you up last week about CB radio and we tried to involve you with it. I've been a CB radio enthusiastic for 6 years, and the majority of them, are mindless morons that use it just for swearing, foul language and everything else.
Then why are you such an enthusiast?
Well, I've gone off it a bit now, since these mindless morons have come on. As you use the word cretin, they are.
Thank you for that. All right.
Thank you, Alan.
I'll do Raymond.
Ricky found Daisy in the bedroom.
I'll do Paul.
Hello, Alan. What I've got to say is very brief. Earlier, a chap was talking about the siege, and he said, why, when he came out for the shield, why didn't he take his legs, shoot him in the legs? Your response to that was, there would be a public outcry. Now, there's no doubt in my mind that if that had been a member of the royal family, there would have been no public outcry. He'd have been shot in the head to kill. So where's one law for one and a law for another?
Well, I very much disagree with you, in actual fact. I think there would have been an equal public outcry had the victim, for want of a better term, been a member of the royal family. The public outcry would have been as strong. I do not think the police ever have the right to shoot first and ask questions later. I actually, having watched on television the way the police went about the whole siege operation, the termination of that siege, I honestly think they were bungling incompetence and put that child's life at severe risk for very poor reasons. I'm sorry, but it is not good enough. Their behaviour was not up to standard, and they need better training, they need better equipment, and quite honestly, they need to be got the hell out of it and get professionals in, because I'm sorry, as far as I am concerned, watching, as I did, the television pictures of it, they look to me like a bunch of incompetents, and we are lucky, very lucky, that that child is still alive.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you've said. It was a joke, it was a farce, they didn't know what they were doing. It was mass confusion for, 14 seconds at the time where they were carrying out the termination, as it were, of the siege. But that's going off the point slightly from my original...
It is. When it took place, Paul, I watched it on the news. I was sat there with Vicky, my wife, and I said, if the Special Air Service had have been controlling that siege, the guy would have got a bullet in the forehead before he got back to the house. And I would have been one of the ones saying that that was wrong. It should not have happened. Now, I'd have been far more prepared to accept it, although still against it, in the hands of competence than in the hands of what appeared, on the basis of the very limited observations, a bunch of incompetence.
Yep.
I'm sorry, the police in this country have no right, must never get the right, to shoot first and ask questions later.
But
They
Alan,
must
in a
not be
situation,
allowed.
if you'll allow, in a situation where you've got an innocent child's life at stake, as opposed to a man who is guilty of kidnap, if I can, put it that way, keeping somebody under threat by, force, which is what it boils down to. Now, that young girl's life was being threatened by that man. Now, you've got to weigh up the pros and the cons. You can either take a guilty as far as keeping the girl under a death threat is concerned, or, you've got to draw the line. I mean, as far as I could see, when the man appeared on the balcony, I think the police should have had no doubt whatsoever. They should have been briefed, of course. I mean, the way they made out on the telly, they didn't have a clue. But all the orders come from higher up, of course, and they should have been briefed at first sight, at first sign of a clear shot. Eliminate him.
The problem with that, Paul, is manyfold, and I mean manyfold. I'll try to explain what the major problem will be. There are many others, but the major one is that the police have a greater obligation than the crime in place at that time. Imagine the situation in 2 years' time. If in the minds of those who are in the position of L, whatever his name was, if in their minds they think that they are going to get shot, they are unlikely to listen to police negotiations. They will see the police negotiations in an entirely different way. And allow me to say at this juncture that I think in the past our police have proved themselves the best in the world at the wait-and-see policy. And I was extremely proud of them until this, what appears to be, certainly in the metropolitan area of London, appears to be a change of tactic. However, to go back to my point, imagine the situation in 2 or 3 years' time when we've had 1 or 2 bullets through the forehead, a man got a dagger over a baby's neck, and the police start to negotiate. And going through his mind is the thought that if I put this kid down, if I move away from this kid, I'm a dead man. What's he going to do? All the chances of actually resolving the situation with the child or other hostage still intact will be severely impaired, if not destroyed altogether. And we must not go down that path, because we cannot come back.
But he'd already murdered a woman.
It's not, honestly, it's not important in the sense of the potential harm.
Well, all right, Alan. In saying that, if he sticks to the child, he's got a chance. If he leaves the child, he's a dead man. Now, he already knows he's committed murder. Now, what else has he got to look forward to?
The answer to that, Paul, is that life is in fact a very important commodity to each of us, to the majority of us as individuals. Now, all I can say is that many, many times, far too many if the truth be known, but many, many times in recent history, the police have taken the decision to wait and see, to sit and wait, and to talk and talk and talk, and to continue talking and negotiating, and to never, but never, but never use violence. Just sit and wait. Now, they've done that in sieges, not just with half-crazed men such as this chap yesterday.